So it's actually impossible for you to take a break from being the perfect partner for your specific person because it's just something that you are constantly embodying. And no, I don't mean that you can't actually ever take a break. Like you have to be constantly thinking about, visualizing, or imagining being with your specific person. I don't mean that. I mean, even when you do take a step back and you relax and you get into the state, you are still someone who is perfect for your specific person. Because whenever we are going through our manifestation, sometimes we feel as if we can't take a break, right? We have to constantly be affirming. If we miss a visualization or miss an affirmation or anything like that, we feel as if we're going backward. But that's not the case. When you are in the state of being, which I know you are, your manifestation is constantly working. There are constantly things moving behind the scenes in order to bring you to where you need to go. So, the concept of taking a break or focusing on your state is not something that's bad, and it's actually really beneficial. Because I actually had someone recently mention this concept of, I'm afraid to take a break. Okay. Because I mentioned they were stressing out, worrying, having fears, anxieties, all of this. And I said, well, first and foremost, we want to take a step back and focus on our state before we do anything else. But then this phrase came out of, I'm afraid to take a break. Because when we are in an anxious state, again, everything begins to reflect that. But in this anxious state, we think we have to continuously strain and try to force our reality. But remember, manifestation is all attention without effort, meaning that we don't want to be straining, we don't want to be forcing. This feeling of force just brings about anxiety, more worry, and actually puts us into a state that does not align with our specific person. So think about it in this way. If you're ever in a state that feels less than positive, there's actually no point in doing any techniques until you correct that state. Because in a state, everything begins to reflect it, and you see and will only experience bridge of events that lead to more of that state. Think of the last time you were really sad or really frustrated. Everything you did, all of your thoughts and all of your actions were aligning with that state to create more of it. Like again, think of an argument you've been in before. I'm sure you've been in one at some point in your life. And if we look at the specific actions when we are upset, we realize that all our actions were accidentally creating more anger, more frustration, and was actually more focused on that rather than peace and calm agreement, right? Like think back to that and you'll be surprised. Or the next time you get into an argument or a spirited debate, you'll realize that the state is just trying to create more of the state. So if you're in a state right now attempting to force or change your reality, remember, how do you feel? Do you feel stressed? Do you feel desperate? Do you feel worried? Do you feel anxious? Okay. So then taking any action in this state just produces more of that. So the cure for this is to actually take a step back and focus on you. Give yourself the love and abundance that you want to seek or see in your relationship. If your specific person texts you something you don't like, take a step back. Don't respond. You don't have to take any action, even though we'll seemingly feel like we are. Take a step back, focus on you, get back into the state, go get a massage, go have a spa day, anything, go eat your favorite food, watch your favorite movie, literally anything to get you back into the state. And then once you get into the state, then go back to responding to the message or whatever you feel like doing, because that's when divine guidance is going to be speaking to you. Divine guidance cannot speak to you, or you won't be able to hear it when in a negative or despondent mood. And this is something Joseph Murphy, the author, has always always talked about. And I think this is very, very important. So next time you think of yourself as attempting to force the state, remember, the state is something that we can get into naturally, easily, and effortlessly. It's actually, as you know, manifestation is a very simple process, right? The difficult portion is keeping it simple because our mind wants to constantly overcomplicate everything. So right now, if you're feeling overwhelmed, worried, feeling as if there is some factor forcing you to move or take action, I will tell you right now, send send your anxieties and worries my way, because you don't have to worry about that at all, and you'll actually see so much more improvement. And I've seen this countless times in coaching sessions and in my own reality. When you focus on the state first, that's how you create and that's how you manifest. And I promise you, you will see a totally different reality. You'll see it from a totally different angle, from a state of love and abundance. Because again, when you're in a state, all of your actions, thoughts, ideas, and beliefs come and align with that state. So again, if you're having a problem with your specific, a problem, right? There are no problems. A problem with your specific person right now, and you feel like you have to act, you don't, right? Take a step back, relax, get back into the state. Use this video, right? Anytime you feel worried, fearful, like you have to take action, maybe bookmark this video and come right back to it, right? Because it doesn't have to, when you don't believe me right now, if you're in a state that is way further from where you want to be, you will not believe me right now. You'll think, Kyle's speaking nonsense. I have to take action. I have to do this. But just try it out. Take a moment and totally forget about it. Totally relax on your manifestation. Take a step back and focus your mind on something else, something you love, something you desire. Again, your favorite movie, your favorite food, spa day, go get your nails done, anything to put yourself back into a relaxed and abundant state, and you will see that your entire vision of what's happening changes. And to give a little kind of logical reasoning as to why this is the case, remember, when we're in a fight or flight response, right? So when we're nervous, anxious, worried, our frontal lobe, so our higher thinking, gets cut off, right? So you have the inability to actually think intelligently and think with where you want to go in that state. That's why when we do get into like an argument, like I mentioned earlier, somehow instead of being like, hey, we should all calm down, maybe take a couple minute break and then come back to this because I feel like everybody is upset right now. Instead of saying something like that, we scream at them. But it's like, okay, it's those points more than ever. We have to think, I might not be actually aligning with the state that I want. Because remember, the state, I'll say this over and over again because it's so important. The state that you're in is going to produce and give you divine guidance for more of that state. So take a moment right now, get back into a loving and abundant state, and you're going to see a huge change in everything. It's kind of like if you were a camera and you wanted to take a picture, like you needed to take the picture, but you didn't have the proper lens on it, right? So you need to put a lens that doesn't make your image all blurry. But in the sense of us being the camera body without the lens, we're just trying to take the picture. We're trying to rush. We're trying to move forward, but we just constantly and continuously take blurry pictures. But in this sense, we're trying over and over again. Maybe if I take more pictures, maybe if I do more, maybe if I change the aperture, like all of that to create a clear image. But because the lens is a blurry lens, nothing is going to be different. You can only see through this lens and everything you see will be blurry. But if instead you stopped taking pictures, changed the lens out to one that is clear, or even cleaned it off in this metaphor. You can clean off that lens. Think of yourself as when you're upset, when you're fearful, when you're worried, you are this dirty lens. And so everything is, you start to mistake things in your reality because you're not seeing clearly. So clean it off, change the lens. And then you'll realize as soon as you change it, that was the whole problem. There was nothing wrong with you taking these pictures, or there's nothing wrong with the actions that you need to take. We just needed to see more correctly. And just to show that this concept goes above and beyond what you feel is logical in this moment, and everything, your manifestation can happen right here, right now. They can text you. I just had a quick little comment someone put on one of my videos, so I'll put it up here. It's actually on my video about your specific person is typing right here and right now in this video. And what they wrote is, in the middle of this video, he just texted me. And obviously they were really surprised by this. And in your reality, you're going to have this same effect as soon as we put the state first, right? Because there is nothing stopping you from being with your specific person right here, right now. Even though we feel as if this is the case, it absolutely is not. You can have anything you want right here and right now. It just depends on what you feel is the most believable. So I'm telling you right now, your specific person can text you, can call you, can ask you out on a date, can propose to you, whatever it is that you want, that's within your reality. We just have to get ourselves to believe it. And right now, you may not believe it, but it's all because we don't have the proper lens on our camera. But as soon as you change it, you're going to start to realize, oh my gosh, Kyle was right, and I manifested overnight. But it's totally up to you. So hopefully you like this idea. If you did have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Remember, you can also reach out to me on my website at kyleaugustcoaching.com. That's where you can send me any personal questions, personal thoughts, personal ideas, personal successes. I want to hear absolutely everything. As well as this, for all my members, I do go live daily because we're doing our 30-day specific person manifestation challenge. Today we'll be meeting at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's a little different than our normal time, so make sure to mark your calendar. As always, thank you so much for stopping by today. For all my members, I'll see you in my live later. And for everyone else, I'll see you in my next video tomorrow.